Let's chat Brexit, shall we, everyone? Welcome back to the Marketing Week Live studio, where I'm joined by Daniel Kennedy, who is Head of Consulting at Cheetah Digital. Our neighbours here on the show floor at the show. Daniel, good to speak to you in person rather than over a red carpet here. First things first, Cheetah Digital, anyone who hasn't heard of what you do,
sure,
just tell me.
Absolutely. So Cheetah Digital, we're a marketing technology company. We're actually ancient. We used to be Cheetah Mail. We're acquired by Experian years ago, and then recently divested from Experian. We now became Cheetah Digital. So we're the world's largest, we're in the strange position of being the world's largest independent marketing technology company. But nobody knows who we are, and we're kind of a startup too. So we're a really, really big startup. It's a good way to think of us.
A few thousand more people do know who you are now, so that's a good start. But what we want to talk about is Brexit and some interesting findings that you were presenting earlier on around that. Tell me more.
Sure. So this all started a few months back when I was looking at some client data, and I noticed something unusual happen at a particular date. And I couldn't quite fathom what was happening here, what was the factor. So we looked at it, and it was June 2016. And what happened in June 2016? Well, the Brexit referendum happened, and something changed quite a lot, significantly changed quite a lot, which was consumer confidence. So consumer confidence absolutely tanked, and has remained pretty much on the floor since.
And when you noticed that something had changed in your data, what sort of thing did you notice that had changed?
So we noticed that the open rate of the email had slightly increased and remained pretty flat, and the click-to-open rate of that email had dipped completely. So people were more interested in them, but not actually buying from them. That was the hypothesis. So they're a luxury retailer, and we thought that was really strange, really interesting, maybe. So months go on. This is kind of playing on my mind, and I'm thinking, well, could there be something else here? Could there be some general impact that this is having on other verticals? And in fact, what are the general impacts that this is having on different verticals? So I took all of our data we send on behalf of hundreds of our clients in the UK, send billions of emails, and email is probably the easiest one for us to measure because we've got a few interesting metrics from email.
You've got a good data source, a good sample there.
An excellent sample across quite a few verticals, not including ones that we're not so strong in. So making sure that we've got a really good representative sample. So in the end, we had lots of retailers. We had some property, we had some financial services, we had gaming, which is quite interesting. And then we compared these metrics with OECD data. So how is the economy doing? I actually started with a number of different economic factors, but I settled on consumer confidence because they were more or less all the same shape. So consumer confidence is reliable. I used to use it in my old days as a marketer at Sony to look at consumer electronics sales and kind of compare those things. So what we found, which was really fascinating, was that some verticals, it made almost no difference at all. We had a lot of seasonality, but apart from that, there was no real change. Some verticals, there was an astounding correlation between consumer confidence and these metrics. So looking at things like open rate, for example, in financial services, there is a very positive correlation between open rate in financial services and economic behavior. So you'd kind of expect that because people are thinking about money and worried about money more. But there's kind of then a lag effect if you look at the click-to-open rate. So people are thinking about it more, they're interested in it, but maybe they're not taking action yet. Then we looked at gaming, and remarkably, financial services have almost exactly the same result in terms of engagement, in terms of interest. So the hypothesis is that, could it be that people are thinking about money more and trying to get some control over their money? So the behavioral economics area of this is really related to control. So people are looking to get in control of their money more, and every now and again they get sick of being in control of their money and they just play the lottery. And we think it's and it's known as an extinction burst, right? So you really look after yourself, you diet really well, and then you eat a whole cake. So we think this may be happening, that people they realise they can achieve the same result with this shortcut, but obviously it's nonsense.
There's some really, really interesting insight there, and that was what you were presenting here earlier on today.
That's right.
Fantastic. And before we go, what would you say are the main takeaways from that? How would you say people here are able to respond to this insight that you've been able to provide around confidence?
So through the other areas as well, so the other verticals like retail, they taught us a lot, right? So they taught us that value is really important. And that isn't the price of something, that's the value of something. So communicating the value of your product or your service is absolutely essential to make sure that your customer continues to buy. If you sell something luxurious, make sure that your customer knows it's really luxurious. If you sell something really good value, really cheap, as we would say, make sure your customers know why it's really cheap and why you maintain that price for them. And that's really it. It's all about kind of taking you back to your grassroots. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thank you very much indeed for sharing that in the presentation.
Pleasure.
And also with us just now, Daniel Kennedy from Cheetah Digital. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.